Anxiety and eating disorders often go hand in hand. Scaffolding is a skill for parents and caregivers to use to support their child to help them face their fears or do hard things. So instead of allowing their child to avoid or rescuing them when they're in the middle of a hard situation, scaffolding is a way to support them in facing those situations. To use scaffolding, you first connect with your child to identify and name the fact that they're scared or they're nervous or they're afraid, and validating those really normal emotions. The second step is to work with your child to brainstorm how they're going to face instead of avoid their fears. Maybe it's breaking that thing down into really small, manageable tasks. Maybe it's talking about what skills you're going to use. And then after making that plan, going out and trying it together. And over time, repeating these challenging moments, you as the caregiver remove yourself step by step away from it so that your child learns that they can handle their fears on their own. To talk about scaffolding and how important it can be in helping your children gain confidence and overcome their fears, I'm here today with JD. So JD, I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit first about why this is such an important skill for caregivers. Why is it important that we learn how to support our kids through anxious or hard situations as opposed to just, letting them avoid or jumping in to rescue them when things get tough?
Yeah, I think eventually they're going to have to do everything on themselves, right? We don't want our kids to be living with us, depending on us to navigate their way when they're 60 years old. And so I think scaffolding just really helps both the caregiver and the child really sort of ease into this. And it's going to look different in a younger child than an older teen. Oftentimes older teens may be able to go faster, may be more motivated about some of these things, but the process really is the same. So one example I often use with families is, your goal with your child with an eating disorder will be to have them go out with a friend's family and eat in a restaurant. And it's a pretty big leap for most people from where they are now to even imagine that day. What we can do is start with first making sure we're eating together as a family, because often the eating disorder would prefer to have no one watching them. So once we've got that under our belt, we can have trusted friends or family members over and eat together. Then we can go to their houses and eat as well. Then we can start doing restaurants, and eventually they're going to be ready to go to a restaurant with a friend's family and have a really happy experience in that.
I love the way you broke that problem down into more manageable steps. And it's not like, while for some kids, ripping the Band-Aid off is just the best way to go. Others just aren't quite ready for it. And so this is a great way to kind of go along with them in small increments to help them practice facing their fear. Kind of like to call it like parent-assisted exposure is sort of what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it also feeds into accumulate the positives. As you see those small steps, you know that you're headed in the right direction.
I love that you brought that up, because I think one of the things that's so important about doing these hard things and teaching our kids how to do these hard things is that that's where the confidence comes from, right? Like, I think we are always nervous about pushing our kids to do things that they're not quite ready for or quite prepared for, but it's only in doing those things that they really start to feel like they can handle it on their own. And scaffolding is a great way to, like you said, ease into it.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. And I think confidence and competence really do help relieve the anxiety and make kids feel like, yes, I can navigate the world on my own.